Let me tell you something that's going to sound crazy right now. The same people who missed Nvidia at $20 are making the exact same mistake again, right now, today. They're sitting on the sidelines watching a sector that just outperformed the S&P 500 by almost 7x this year alone, and they're saying, it's too speculative, it's too early, I'll wait. That's exactly what they said about AI in 2019. The sector I'm talking about is quantum computing. And before you roll your eyes, let me give you one number. The S&P Kensho Global Quantum Computing Index, that's the benchmark for this sector, is up 69.3% year to date. The S&P 500 is up 10.7% over the same period. That's not luck. That's institutional capital rotating into the next computing revolution. And it's happening right now, whether you're paying attention or not. Today, on Future AI Stocks, I'm going to give you 5 specific stocks in this space. I'm going to tell you what each one does, what the real financial data says, and exactly how much risk you're taking on with each one. No vague speculative play language, real numbers, real analysis. If you haven't subscribed to Future AI Stocks yet, hit that button right now and ring the notification bell. Let's get into it. First, let me explain quantum computing in plain English because most financial channels skip this and leave you confused. A normal computer, your laptop, your phone, the servers running Netflix processes information in bits. A bit is either a 0 or a 1, binary, on or off. A quantum computer uses qubits. A qubit can be 0, 1, or both. Simultaneously, a state called superposition. This means a quantum computer can explore millions of possible solutions to a problem at the exact same time, instead of checking them one by one. Why does that matter? Think about drug discovery. Finding the right molecule to cure a disease requires analyzing billions of possible molecular combinations. A classical computer could take decades to run those calculations. A quantum computer could potentially solve the same problem in hours. Think about financial portfolio optimization across thousands of variables. Think about cracking encryption systems that protect banks and governments. Think about logistics networks, UPS, FedEx, Amazon, trying to optimize delivery routes for millions of packages simultaneously. This is not science fiction. This is what the US government just invested $2 billion into, and it's what IBM just committed $10 billion to over the next 5 years. When those two sentences are both true at the same time, paying attention is not optional. Before we go any further, here's the required statement. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. Always do your own research and consult with a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Past performance does not guarantee future results. IonQ is the single most important stock in this space right now, and it's not particularly close. Here's the data that matters. Q1 2026 revenue came in at $64.7 million. That is 755% year-over-year growth. 755%, not a typo, not a one-time contract win. This is the 4th consecutive quarter of record results for IonQ. They beat their own guidance by 30%, and they raised their full year 2026 guidance to $260 to $270 million. For context, their full year 2025 revenue was $130 million. They're guiding for double that in 2026. But here's the part that really matters for long-term investors. Remaining performance obligations. That's contracted future revenue that hasn't been recognized yet. IonQ's RPOs hit $470 million, up 554% year over year. That means they have nearly $500 million in locked-in future revenue sitting on the books right now. That's not hope. That's business. The cash position is $3.1 billion. In a sector where dilution is a constant risk, IonQ has more runway than any competitor. They can afford to build, hire, and scale without going back to the market to raise capital every 6 months. Their technology runs on what's called trapped ion architecture. The qubits are individual ions suspended in electromagnetic fields. This produces higher gate fidelity, fewer errors per calculation than competing approaches. In Q1, they sold their first 256-qubit 6th generation system to the University of Cambridge. Commercial adoption in more than 30 countries. DARPA contracts, partnerships with AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. If I was forced to put all my money in exactly one quantum stock, IonQ is the answer. B. Riley has a $100 price target. Jefferies has $85. The stock is currently trading around $57. Do your own math. This is the one almost nobody is talking about because it literally just started trading 2 days ago. Quantinuum IPO'd on NASDAQ on June 4th. That was Thursday. They priced at $60 per share above the already elevated range of $53 to $55. The offering was 20 times oversubscribed. They raised $1.68 billion. The company opened at $68, hit an intraday high of $71.35, and has since pulled back to around $56. Why does the IPO pullback matter? Because new IPOs almost always pull back after the first day pop. Retail investors take profits, institutional allocations settle, it's mechanical, not fundamental. And when a stock that was 20x oversubscribed pulls back to near its IPO price, that's usually where the opportunity begins. So what is Quantinuum? It was formed in 2021 through the merger of Honeywell's quantum division and Cambridge Quantum Computing, one of the most respected quantum research organizations in the world. Honeywell retains a majority stake following the IPO, which means this isn't a startup gambling on a science project. This is a Honeywell-backed, institutionally supported, fully resourced operation with decades of combined quantum research behind it. Their model is what's called full-stack quantum. They build the hardware, they build the software, they build the cybersecurity and encryption tools that run on top of quantum systems. Most of their competitors do one or two of those things. Quantinuum does all three. Now, here's the honest risk. Q1 2026 revenue was $524 million, down 73% from the same quarter last year. Net loss was $136.5 million. This is not a profitable business. This is a bet that quantum computing reaches commercial scale and that Quantinuum becomes the dominant full-stack provider when it does. That's a high-risk thesis, but it's backed by serious institutional capital, Honeywell's balance sheet, and $100 million in U.S. Commerce Department funding. This is the highest risk pick on this list, but the timing buying a fundamentally strong company near its IPO price after initial euphoria fades is historically one of the best entry points in investing. D-Wave is the most underrated story in quantum right now, and here's why. Every other company on this list is still building toward commercial scale. D-Wave is already there. On June 1st, at their first ever investor day at the New York Stock Exchange, D-Wave delivered one clear message. Quantum computing is no longer a science project. It is a commercial product being deployed in production environments today. Their customers include Lockheed Martin, Google, NASA, and a growing list of Fortune 100 enterprises using D-Wave's systems for real optimization problems, logistics, scheduling, drug discovery, financial modeling. This is not pilots, this is production. D-Wave uses quantum annealing, a different approach than IonQ's trapped ion architecture. It's specialized. It doesn't do everything a universal quantum computer will eventually do. But for the optimization problems that represent hundreds of billions of dollars in enterprise value, annealing works right now. The financial picture. Q1 bookings hit $33.4 million. The stock is trading around 27, up 44% over the past 30 days. Roth Capital just raised their price target to $40. B. Riley has a $41 target. Analyst consensus is strong buy with an average 12-month target of 36.44, roughly 35% upside from current levels. The government angle is also real. D-Wave is expected to receive $100 million from the U.S. Commerce Department's recent $2 billion quantum funding round. And Polymarket traders currently price a 0.73 probability that the U.S. federal government takes a formal stake in D-Wave. That's institutional signal worth tracking. The risk is execution. D-Wave's losses are widening, $18.4 million net loss in the most recent quarter, up from $5.4 million. If commercial revenue doesn't scale faster than expenses, dilution becomes the story. Now let's talk about the stock for people who want quantum exposure without betting on a startup. IBM just announced something that changed the entire landscape of this sector. On June 2nd, 4 days ago, IBM committed more than $10 billion to quantum computing over the next 5 years. This is IBM's most aggressive investment program since the company's founding. It covers R&D, manufacturing scaling, ecosystem partnerships, and acquisitions. The centerpiece is a new entity called Andron America's first dedicated quantum chip foundry being built in Albany, New York, with a $1 billion CHIPS Act incentive from the Trump administration and $1 billion in IBM's own capital. IBM is already the largest quantum operator on Earth. They've deployed over 90 quantum systems globally, more than the rest of the industry combined. Their goal is the world's first large-scale, fault-tolerant quantum computer by 2029. And unlike every startup on this list, IBM is already generating $15.9 billion in annual revenue with 9% year-over-year growth and a $320 Wedbush price target. Here's the Barclays framing that perfectly captures the IBM thesis. IBM is mimicking Nvidia's playbook in quantum. They're not just building quantum hardware, they're building the software, the cloud infrastructure, the developer ecosystem, and the manufacturing capacity. They want to own the entire stack the same way Nvidia owns the AI computing stack. Barclays initiated coverage with an overweight rating and a $350 price target, 18% upside from current levels. Their bull case is $449 on $51% upside. For a $300 billion market cap company, those are exceptional numbers. IBM is the defensive quantum play. You get quantum upside without betting the house on a startup that might dilute you to zero. IBM doesn't need quantum computing to work this year. Their AI and cloud businesses provide the stable earnings base while quantum matures in the background. And then there's Nvidia, the company everyone calls overvalued. The company everyone says has already had its run. The company that keeps finding new markets to dominate. Here's what most people miss about Nvidia's quantum positioning. In April 2026, Jensen Huang unveiled Easing, a family of open-source AI models, specifically designed to accelerate quantum computing adoption. Nvidia is not building quantum hardware. They're building the AI simulation layer that runs on top of quantum systems. Think about what that means. Every quantum computer needs classical computing infrastructure to support it to calibrate qubits, run error correction, manage workflows between quantum and classical systems. That hybrid classical quantum layer runs on GPUs, Nvidia's GPUs. Barclays specifically flagged Nvidia when discussing IBM's quantum strategy, noting that Nvidia is positioned across the value chain. Barclays projects quantum computing demand could reach $100 billion by 2040, with Nvidia as one of the primary infrastructure beneficiaries. Nvidia doesn't need quantum to become a $100 billion market for them to win. They just need to be the hardware that powers the classical side of every quantum classical hybrid system. And given that Nvidia already supplies GPU infrastructure to Amazon, Microsoft, and Google, all three of whom are actively building quantum cloud platforms, that positioning is already locked in. This is the lowest risk quantum play on the list. Nvidia's core AI business is massive and growing. Quantum is optionality, significant upside, with no meaningful downside to their existing business. Now, let me give you a framework before we wrap up, because throwing money into all five of these randomly is not a strategy. Think of it as three tiers. Tier 1 is your speculation IonQ and Quantinuum. These are the pure plays with the highest upside and the highest risk. These should be a small percentage of your portfolio. If you can't afford to lose it, don't put it in. Tier 2 is your commercial bet D-Wave. It's further along commercially than most people realize. More risk than IBM or Nvidia, less risk than a new IPO. Tier 3 is your defensive quantum allocation IBM and Nvidia. These are businesses you can own for other reasons that happen to have quantum upside baked in. If quantum never delivers commercially, IBM and Nvidia still generate billions in free cash flow. The honest summary: quantum computing is real. The government is funding it. IBM is spending $10 billion on it. Institutions are rotating into it. And the sector is up 69% this year, while most of the market is up 10%. The risk is timing. Nobody knows exactly when quantum achieves commercial scale at the level that justifies current valuations on some of these pure plays. That's the honest answer. Position accordingly. If this analysis opened your eyes to what's happening in quantum computing right now, do me a favor. Subscribe to future AI stocks right now and hit the notification bell. We track these structural emerging technology plays every single week, the kind of analysis that separates informed investors from the crowd. Drop a comment below. Which of these five are you most interested in? IonQ, Quantinuum, D-Wave, IBM, or Nvidia? Are you already holding any of them? Tell me your thesis. I read every single comment. And share this video with someone who is still sleeping on quantum. Show them what they're missing. We'll see you in the next one.